Belly full, batty glad. It's a common Jamaican saying. It means exactly what it sounds like when you're filled up with food and a gassy symphony starts playing. It's mostly said to children when their eyes start to drift as they fall into that post-dinner slump. But it's a sight so endearing when they're warm and content, you don't actually mind when they start to trump. So why would anyone deny a child the comfort of a good meal? Heart so hardened it's put to a vote. I mean, can you really not feel the desperation in this country? There's a pandemic on, for goodness sake. No matter where you stand on the political scale, this is not a defendable mistake. This is contempt for the working class and a national disgrace. I mean, what are we paying taxes for? So that 322 MPs can decide the burden is too great and these children don't matter just because they are poor. And make no mistake, they do not believe these children matter. You know, for some, a free school dinner is all they'll eat in a day. So without it, they'll go hungry and over Christmas. The Minister of Children voted no. Tell me, what does that say? What does that say about the people who run this country and push the narrative that benefits are squandered on cigarettes and booze? There is so much stigma around poverty, it's no wonder people don't ask for help. But either way, it's always the children who lose. People aren't struggling because they're lazy and love handouts. It's not because they're afraid of a hard day's work. They struggle because time and time again, the system fails them. And to suggest otherwise really does hurt. It hurts because I speak from experience. My own mum has gone without food just so that I could eat in the past. And she's a healthcare professional who works hard every day of her life. But perseverance does not eradicate the barriers of class. Marcus Rashford deserves endless praise for his unshakable integrity, and yet some Tory MPs have accused him of virtue signalling. What? Because you couldn't buy him off with that MBE? And now we see local businesses and restaurants rallying around to help in the true spirit of being a Brit. And as wonderful as it is to see this sense of community, forgive my language, it is complete bullshit. Because it's not the job of businesses already struggling in this climate to feed our children when our government could. You know, once again, they're going to get away with it and are not being held accountable. They knew if they didn't, the people would. The same way Sir Tom, an 100-year-old veteran, did laps for the NHS. But the NHS is not a charity. It's our national health service. We all pay for it. And I know I digress, but can't you see? Can't you see how wrong it is? That it falls down to the compassion of the average person to fix. I volunteered at my church's food bank throughout the lockdown, and it was humbling, but if I'm honest, it made me feel sick. Sick to my stomach that so many families relied on these parcels, some of whom didn't even have access to heat. How is that possible in the 5th richest country in the world? It's not a luxury to be able to eat. The fact that we're having this conversation, it baffles my brain. I can't believe it's up for debate. 1.3 million children rely on these meals. It's our future generations who are at stake. Talking of steak, did you see it's just a tenner for a ribeye on the subsidised menu for the MPs? Imagine tucking into that in the House of Commons canteen, but voting no for the kiddies with such ease. These children are more than just a statistic. And the rhetoric of stopping dependency when we're talking about dependence is completely mad. No matter their circumstance, every child in the UK should be going to bed with their bellies full and their batties clad.